Well, hey everybody, welcome to Fingerstyle Guitar 4C, where tonight we're going to add a little bit more into the mix with the windy and warm, and hopefully push this a little further down the road. Before we get started tonight, there's a young man that I've run across on YouTube and had some conversations back and forth with, and he's seems like a fine young fellow. His name is Gerald, and I believe it's his son that is named Gibson, and he's a wee fella, you know. Gibson is anyway, about yay tall there, and but Gerald seems like a fine individual to me. But he did a cover of a song, and I'm going to, don't want to get this wrong. It's a cover of a Vincent Black. It's called Vincent Black Lightning, 1952, by Richard Thompson and Sean Rowe. And Gerald does a cover of this tune, and I thought it was really, really, really well done. And so I wanted to feature it tonight. I think maybe I've listened to quite a few of Gerald's videos, and I think he's got something. I think that boy's on to something. But tonight, with this cover that I'm going to play, it had a kind of a Joe Ely feel to me, for those of you that are familiar with Joe Ely. And I would like to think that all of you are, because Joe Ely was just is an incredible musician. But anyway, I'm going to Gerald put up this cover. I'll drop a link in the description. I think you're going to like this. Here you go, folks.
Sarah and Molly to James, that's a fine motorbike. Girl could feel real special on any such like. Said James to Red Molly, well, my hat's off to you. It's a Vincent Black Lightning, 1952. And I've seen you at the corners and the cafes, it seems. Red hair and black leather, my favorite color schemes. And it pulled her on behind, down the Bucks Hill that it ride. Said James to Red Molly, here's a ring for your right hand. But I tell you in earnest, I'm a dangerous man. I fought with the law since I was 17. Robbed many a man to get this Vincent machine. Now I'm 21 years, I might make 22. And I don't mind dying, but for the love of you. And if fate should break my stride, I'll give you my Vincent to ride. Come down, Red Molly, called Sergeant McRae. For they're taking young James out here for armed robbery. Shotgun blast to his chest, left nothing inside. Come down, Red Molly, to his dying bedside. When she came to the hospital, there was not much left of him. He was running out of road, running out of bread. But he smiled to see her cry. Said I'll give you my Vincent to ride. Said young James, in my opinion, there's nothing in the world beats a 52 Vincent and a red-headed girl. Now Nortons and Indians and grievances, they just won't do. They don't have that soul like a Vincent 52. And he reached for a hand and he slipped her the keys. He said, I don't have any further use for these. I see angels on aerials in leather and chrome. Well, swooping down from heaven to carry me back home. Gave her one last kiss and died. Gave her his Vincent to ride. Gave her his Vincent to ride. Gave her his Vincent to ride.
All right, everybody, if you would go see Gerald and check out his channel. I think you'll like what he does. As I said, he's somebody that I've grown rather fond of on YouTube, and I just thought this last tune he did, I thought was the best he's ever done, and I thought it was pretty incredible. I love something about acoustic sets and authenticity, that when you get the two and they blend together and there's some talent there, it's quite a special thing, I think. All right, Windy and Warm, everybody. So I'm going to play it through to where we've taken it, and I'm going to stop there. And then, well, actually, maybe I'll just go ahead and play it through the first round, because I think tonight we will maybe get through the first round, hopefully. And then next week we'll move on to part two of this song. But we'll see how that goes. But anyway, I'm going to play the whole first piece of Windy and Warm, and then we'll come back and we'll pick up where we left off in the last video. And we'll put the ball a little further down the field, okay? And that is the very first complete part of Windy and Warm. And then you're going to get a couple of more complex versions of this on the fretboard, and that's what we'll start with when we get into part two. But we haven't finished up part one yet, right? So the last thing we did last time was we went and did this A run in Fingerstyle 4B. And we stopped there, and that's when you're going to hit the open E string, your number 6 bass note. And then you're going to cover it. It's an F, But I used my thumb over right here on that very first fret, number 6 string. And then I strike that number 4 bass note. Because remember, you're in an F, so I've got the number 4 string, which is our bass note, covered on the 3rd fret, okay? So here's what that sounds like. I think that's what that sounds like. Let me do this so I can make sure I got that right, okay? If I'm not careful, I'm going to go do Mr. Lindsey Buckingham again. And that's what we're going to do in F. Pick up on number 6, open, then cover that very first fret on that number 6 string for your number 6 bass note, right? That's just an F. You could actually do it like this in a bar chord. If you're one of those that has a problem with that thumb over, and I can't remember, it seems like Johnny L told me he had a bit of a struggle with that thumb over. If you have a struggle with that thumb over, you can do it differently. You can go. You have to lift the back end of that F chord if you're going to do that bar chord. Because what you're going to do is, first I'm going to do it in the bar chord for those of you that can't get your thumb right there. And I get it. There's some folks that have some thumb struggles, let's say. So we'll show both of them, but I'll start with the bar chord. So what you're going to do after you do that, hit it open, so you're going to hit it open, cover it on that very first fret, because that's an F. Then you're going to strike your number 4 bass note. Then you're going to pick up these 2 strings, number 2 and number 3. Just like that. 2 and 3. And 2 and 3 are covered here, right? Because you're in an F chord. Remember we said when we first started doing fingerstyle videos, I presume you know how to make chords. It's fingerstyle you might not know how to do, right? So I'm assuming everybody knows how to make an F. If you don't, real quick, create another tab, go to YouTube and type in, how do I make a bar F chord? Okay? And somebody will show you how to make that. So do 6 and 4. Then pick up on the number 3 string. Then lift up on that 4 finger and strike 2 and 3 with your middle finger. And then lay it back down on that number 1 fret, number 2 string. You got it? Open number 6, close it on the first fret with your thumb, strike your number 4 bass note after you strike that number 6, pull up on number 2 and 3, pick up on number 3, yes, then lift up your 4 finger, which leaves your number 2 string open. Then put it back down and strike up. a lot of this is just not easy to do. If you're new to fingerstyle, it's just not easy to do. I was learning a new one earlier today, and I realized even though you might be able to do fingerstyle, the first time you attempt a new fingerstyle song, depending upon what it is, I don't care how simple somebody tells you it is, it's probably not going to be simple for you. So if you listen to how this actually fits in, that really does help though. But you're probably going to have to come back to this a few times to get this. But just make your 3 fingers here for your F chord, okay? Number 1's open because you're not going to be dealing with number 1. Your number 2 string is fretted on the number 1 fret, number 3 string on the 3rd fret, number 4 string on the 2nd fret. Your number 2 string, number 1 fret, number 3 string, number 2 fret, number 4 is your other bass note, right? And that's going to be on the 3rd fret, number 4 string. So open, closed, and then you're going to strike number 4, pick up on 2 and 3, fingers down, pull up on number 3, right there. Then lift up on that 4 finger, number 2 string, lift up on it. And then bring it back down and pull up on number 2 and 3. Okay. Now, to kind of play in and through that, we'll go back to you see. See? It's not so bad, is it? Now, there's a lot of things you can do next. After you do that, you can either do this, which is what I do. You make that C7 shape up here as an E7. Okay? Or you can just make an E7. But I like coming up here. I don't know why, I just have a more difficult time grabbing that E7. I guess you could just do 2 fingers right there, but I'm very used to coming up here with this. Tommy doesn't do that. I think he's down here in this E7, but I don't know, there's something about that I actually like. So in other words, it would go. That's what I do. Just kind of dig into it. And then pick up on that number 1 string. And then on your number 2 string, number 3 fret, you're going to do a pull off from 3 to 1 on that number 2 string. And you're going to pick up on number 3. Just like that. Number 3's open. Number 1's open. Then you're going to number 2 string, number 3 fret, and you're going to pull off to the number 1 fret, number 2 string. And number 3 is going to be struck open, pulled up open. In other words, then you're going to do a hammer-on with that A bass note. We're going to take it to right there, and we're going to stop tonight. So let's take it all the way up to that last little lead piece that we did, and we'll stop there tonight. Okay. And we'll stop right there. Okay. Hopefully that wasn't too painful for you, and you get an opportunity to sit down and really work with that over the course of the next week. I apologize for the video being a week late, but I've been gone every week for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and so it's been a little difficult to try to, normally I'll try to get them in the backlog and then I'll schedule them for release, but when you're traveling that much, when you do finally get home, you don't want to come in here and make 3 or 4 videos, because it takes hours to do this and do the editing and all that, and then cut out any horrible mistakes that you've made and had to kind of redo. The editing really takes a lot of time. Making the video takes a little time, but I think the editing is what really eats up the time on videos, and I'm still married, so I need to pay attention to that too. So hopefully you forgive me. But anyway, go see Gerald. I think he's a fine young fella, and I think he's got something, and I think you probably think so too. If you're not subbed up to him, go ahead and sub up to him. He's got quite a few followers, but I think he's on to something. I just do. Anyway, it's good to see everybody. I sure appreciate everybody coming back, and hopefully you're finding these tutorials beneficial for you, and you're learning a little more about fingerstyle than what you knew before, and you're able to do some things that you couldn't do before. You see a lot of my silver tone on these, because this 1969 silver tone is pretty much the love of my life. You know what I mean? I absolutely adore this guitar, and I think I always will. It's just a special guitar. So thank you, Mr. Scott Baxendale, for rebuilding this thing, because you did an outstanding job. Look at the keys on this. The tuners. Just the level of detail he went to bring this thing back to life is just very impressive. Take care of your friends. Take care of your family. God bless. We'll see you next time.